Hey, what's going on, guys? Foodless is back. Today we're making sweet pork street tacos. You know, I just love the sweet pork, but most importantly, it's my wife's favorite. And there's a lot of different versions out there, but today I'm going to show you how I make mine. And we're going to kick it up with some fire roasted tomato salsa. Stick around, I'll show you how. This is about a 7-pound pork shoulder that I put in a plastic freezer bag. It's a little larger than I wanted. It was the smallest that they had, but that's okay. I'll just eat sweet pork for the next couple of days. This is about 5 whole crushed garlic cloves. We're going to add about a half a cup of brown sugar. 1 can of your favorite cola. I'm going to add 1 more can so we can get really good coverage because we're going to marinate this for a couple hours. We just squeezed all that air out of there and we'll just refrigerate this for about 3 hours and let it get a good soak. If you're new to the channel, don't be shy. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'll put out weekly kitchen content. You get to watch for free. We're going to make a fire roasted salsa. I have a nice mixture of grape tomatoes, some other heirloom cherry tomatoes, a couple jalapenos, and an onion. I dress it with olive oil and a little salt. The olive oil is important. It's going to drip down into that grate and catch fire, and that flame will come up and give it that real nice fire roasted flavor. And the salt will help pull out all the moisture. And we'll take this out to the grill. In my blender, I'm going to start with the onions and the jalapenos. These are going to be the chunkiest. And I removed the seeds and the pith from the jalapenos. It's optional. You can leave them in if you want. A little bit of fresh squeezed lime juice. And we'll give this just a quick spin. Tomatoes in. Pinch of salt. A little bit of cumin. Now another quick little spin. I don't want to make this too smooth. I want a little bit chunky, so it's just going to be a quick little spin. And we'll add a little fresh pico de gallo that I made, which is just onions, tomatoes, some cilantro, and a little lime juice. That'll give us a nice little crunch with the fresh vegetables combined with the fire roasted salsa. Here's our pork after it's marinated for several hours. I took all of the liquid and put it into my baking dish. I added just a little bit more brown sugar on top and some cracked pepper. It's really a 2-step cooking process. First we're going to put it in for about 5 hours at 300, then we're going to pull it and then we're going to re-season it and put it back in for another couple hours. You want to be careful that you don't have too much liquid in your pan. Once that fat starts to cook off, it'll increase the volume. Now that it's in this nice little sweet pork bath, we'll pop it in the oven, check it in a few hours. Now we have all this beautiful sweet pork, and we're just going to start pulling this with a couple of forks. I'm telling you, this stuff is just falling apart. The bone came out of it like it was sitting in butter. Little by little, we're just going to pull the tissue apart. And there we are, about 5 pounds of beautiful pulled sweet pork. It's a lot of work, but when you've nailed it and that meat just starts falling apart, it's well worth it. All right, now to finish this sweet pork, after we've already pulled it, it's all ready to go. We're gonna go through the final cooking process. In our mixer, we're gonna add about 10 ounces of enchilada sauce. Now I made mine from scratch, but you can easily use anything from a can. About 4 ounces of diced green chilies. Another half cup of brown sugar. And give that a mix. We'll add one last 8 ounces of our cola. We're going back in the pan that cooked our pork originally. Now we're going to go in with our sweet sauce that we just made. You can go back in the oven if you like. In this case, I'm going to simmer it on the cooktop for about an hour and a half. Once our sweet pork is ready, we have these beautiful corn tortillas. We have some really fine diced white onions, some cilantro. This is a little cotija cheese with some tahine. The cotija is pretty salty already, but it's going to be perfect with that sweet pork. And we have our fire roasted salsa. Now let's get this dish put together.